everyone, my name is Danielle. I'm with Focal Point Designs. And today I'm bringing you a learning segment about how to make anything in your home, even if it's new, look old and distressed. I'm using just a very basic wooden box that I've already applied paint to. It was originally brown. I've applied a very cool green paint to it. And I'm going to show you some sanding techniques and some painting techniques and some glazing techniques that you can use on pretty much anything in your home. You may not use all three at once, but hopefully you will learn something from this segment and have fun with it on pieces of furniture that you own currently. So let's get started with the first process, which is going to be a sanding technique. So one thing I'm going to do is take my palm sander. I have an 80 grit sandpaper on this. It's a little bit rougher because I really want it to bite into the grain and kind of raise it up so that when I do put a glazing on it later, it will kind of soak into that glazing. What you want to do when you're doing the sanding process, I like to stay with the grain of the wood and just kind of go over it really simple at first and then continue to draw it out as I go along. So I'm going to go ahead and sand this down. This is what it looks like right now before the sanding, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so this is what the green looks like after I gave it a good sanding. So already you can start to see it's looking worn, it's looking distressed, and very cool. But I don't want to finish it like this. I want to take it a step further. So we're going to actually make a glaze to rub over the entire thing. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is make your actual glaze. Super simple. You don't need anything fancy. For the glazes that I make, it's 1 part paint, 1 part water. It's not an exact science because you're going to kind of mess with it for a little while until you get the consistency that you want. The basic point is that you want your glaze to be on the darker side, so it adheres to the wood and kind of soaks in. There's a lot of fancy products on the market, but you don't need them. The paint and water actually makes an amazing glaze. So I take a container like this, I'll maybe fill my paint to there, and then I keep adding water until it gets to the consistency that I want. I shake it up, I throw a rag in it, let the rag kind of absorb everything that's in there, shake it up again with the rag in it, and then now I'm going to show you what I do with the glaze that I've made. Alright, first things first, I'm going to put my gloves on because I don't like any of this stuff on my skin. Yeah, it's paint, but over time, if you keep applying this stuff to your skin, it's going to seep in and you don't want that. So once I have my gloves on, I will stick my hand into the mixture and kind of squeeze out the rag as best I can. You don't want it soaking wet. Now there are different techniques you can do with your glaze, but on this particular one, I'm just going to keep rubbing it in until I get the result that I want. Some people will wipe their glazings off, and for certain projects, yes, you should do that. But for this particular one, I'm not going to wipe it off. I'm just actually rubbing it in to age it. Now, if you look over here, you see how it's still really light, but now the rest of this is getting a nice dark hue to it. I love it. And wherever there was raw wood, it's just soaking in. Okay, look at that. It's pretty awesome. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply that glaze to this piece, the rest of this piece, and also all over the other side of this, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so there it is. The entire thing has been glazed. You can really see how it soaks into the wood and brings out the color of the wood. It's a little hard to focus here. There we go. You can see some of the streaks in it from the glazing, which is so cool. but I just love how it richens up the color. It makes it look old. Very, very cool. So now we are going to move on to the next type of distressing, which is going to be a faux distressing all along the edges. Now, in order to do the faux distressing, you're just going to take a dark paint color. It could be black, it could be brown, whatever look you're trying to achieve. So I put a little bit into the bottom of a paint tray. I take my round sponge brush, which I will use this technique a lot. As you start to watch some of my videos, you will see that this is a distressing technique I use all the time. I love it. It looks so professional, but now I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. So I take the paint, I dab my brush in it, but then I want to get a lot of the excess off, so I'll continue to dab it until there's just very, very little on there. I don't want too much paint, so I dab a lot of that off. Now I'm going to show you how I go ahead and apply it. I'll try to do a close-up shot. Sometimes the camera doesn't show things so well, but I'll show you how I rub it into the edges to give it more of an aged look. Okay, so I hope this comes out clear enough, but I will go back and show you an exact close-up of what it looks like once it's done, but for now I'll show you the technique that I use. So my sponge is dabbed off, just get most of the paint off of it, and you're just gonna go and rub all along your surfaces here to create like a warmth in the wood grain. And I just call this the faux distressing. It's really cool. You're basically gonna do that around all the edges. You can go really light at first, come back and go heavier, but I'll just keep rotating this. Get all these areas. And it just brings out anywhere that there's a bump, it'll make it look more distressed. So I'm gonna go through and do all of this, and I'll show you a close-up after that. Okay, so here is a close-up of the distressing, the faux distressing along the edges. I can get my camera to focus here. It just gives it more of a roughed up look. You'll see this technique used on a lot of signs, on furniture edges, drawers, things like that. Looks pretty cool. It's coming along good. Well, I have to say, I'm pretty proud of this piece right now. I have a lot more to do to it, but I hope that by showing you these techniques today, you're able to try this out on something in your own home. I think the trunk, from where we started with it to now, it really does have a cool aged look. And if you apply these techniques in small items around your home, furniture pieces, frames, things like that, old boxes, you really can achieve that distressed aged look. I hope you've learned something today, and I hope you have a great day.